It's the most Carlton thing ever for them to beat Brisbane by 78 and then lose to St Kilda by 21.
Carlton are in the box seat for the 10th wildcard spot. They're going to make finals.
I genuinely think I have a chance at doing a better job on Brodie Kemp than what he did.
G'day everyone, welcome back to Zero Access Footy, episode number 22. We are here once again to discuss all things for the AFL that have happened in the most recent week. The best way to start it off is with the biggest shock that we have seen in a good while. The Carlton Blues, the premiership hunt is still on. Can you believe it? And it all comes to a head with Josh Fraser. Is he at the point now?
Did you say the premiership hunt?
Yep. I most certainly did. And it's because we had predicted this. We knew it was coming. We made a video on how they're still technically in the hunt months back, and here they are under Josh Fraser. So the coaching problem that existed with Michael Voss feels to be solved, at least in the most immediate short term. But if there is a world where Josh Fraser maybe either on his own merit says, I don't want the job, or for some reason, which is not out of the possibility with Carlton, they say, we don't want Josh Fraser. We got to see who are the other candidates out there. Who could they potentially go for? But
it's his job, surely.
It absolutely is.
It just has to be his job right now.
I think he is officially ready to take in the reins of the Carlton Football Club. If they've already accepted him just about. It feels like in the most, out front perspective, it seems like the entire fan base, the club, the players, they all love him. He's doing exactly what they like, and that is provide winning football, provide hope, provide a spark, and I don't know, maybe a potential spark at a wild card win? I don't know. They're playing with fire right now, and their game against Brisbane certainly made you think they can take it to the best of them.
And they've put themselves sort of right in the favouritism for the wild card spot as well. That's
exactly right.
Obviously, it's going to be a huge game this weekend that they've got, which we will be talking about more in depth towards the end of this, but it was a fantastic game.
Yeah, and this is a team that's scoring on all fronts. They're doing it with, we would say that Harry Mackay, they just lost their Coleman medalist, of course, this year, and they're doing it and getting goals from all over the ground. It's so good to see Jagger Smith in his first season after a devastating injury. I remember all the talk with Jagger Smith around his ACL injury when he first got it, saying, it's a road bump, but this makes your story. This is part of your get back, your comeback. And that was the discussion immediately after his ACL injury. Of course, we never saw him at all last year. All the chatter of him died down, and it's so good to see after such a devastating start to his career.
Yeah.
He's breaking Carlton records. He's breaking first-year records. He's doing amazing stuff for a side.
He's one of 3 players to poll 10 coaches' votes against the reigning premier before turning the age of 21.
There you go. So, like I said, he's making history, and he just has a cleanliness about it. He's almost playing in that Nick Dacos archetype where he's not in and under per se, but he's so good with his ball use. The couple of goals he kicked, one from right on the 50 that, a lot of players aren't hitting very very regularly. And a first-year player's doing it. He is pretty much wrapped up as rising star, I reckon, at this point.
Yeah.
I feel like it's his to lose. But, of course, it just comes to show that a bit of change can sometimes be a good thing. Of course, it isn't perfect everywhere, but the fact that it's turned out so good for Carlton is why I believe now Josh Fraser has to be the guy for this club. It's not anything groundbreaking, not a groundbreaking statement, but I'm interested to see how the next season turns out, because as much as they could get a lot out of this season, and for these guys' sake, they're hoping to potentially get past that wildcard round. Yeah. My thinking is, where do these guys go in case something does happen with the Josh Fraser signing here?
I think I'm most impressed by the team effort. Like, we saw 16 goal kickers for them. I think that was a record. We've never seen a team have 16 individual goal kickers.
Is that true?
Yeah.
16 individual goal kickers?
I think that's the record. Like, it is ridiculous. Like, we always expected Carlton to rely on their top-end talent, and that has been sort of the thing under Michael Voss. They needed probably their 5 best players, let's call it, in Cripps, Walsh, Mackay, Curnow, and Wiedering, right? That's probably their 5 best players. They all needed to be firing in order for them to play well. that's not the requirement for them anymore under Fraser.
Yeah.
They're getting so many passengers who used to be really pushing them up. And like what you're getting out of Billy Wilson now is awesome. What you're getting out of the young kids, Jack Ison, Taylor Byrne,
Wade Dirksen,
what he was able to do. Lewis Young's providing a role at the moment. You never got that under Michael Voss, I never thought.
It also is like that pressure build-up was so obvious to see. They played with so much more freedom as soon as he was out because, that idea that we're going to blow another lead and Voss's seat is going to be even hotter. As soon as, unfortunately, he took the sacrifice, things opened up. And I genuinely don't believe it is all Voss's fault. I think it was just the build-up around Voss.
A culmination.
Exactly right. And so there's always criticism to be thrown, I guess, in that sense. But I like the way that Carlton have now opened themselves up to, all right, we're just going to play a free game. It's almost the Melbourne type of way that they've done it this year. All the expectation was that they were allowed to be bad. They were allowed to play poor. So they just said, you know what? We're just going to open the game up for ourselves. We're going to take on the game. We're going to play in a new, exciting, fresh way. We're going to make sure everyone who comes into the club feels the weight off their shoulders. Mm-hmm. And it's put them in final. Like they are confirmed finals bound, are they not? Melbourne
are.
Yeah,
pretty much. Yeah.
Like it shows how much that expression of freedom can really change up teams now, and we've literally seen it work just halfway through the season. It's unbelievable. So credit to Carlton for being able to make the change. I think a lot of people could argue they could have made it earlier, but they found the right guy.
Yeah.
Very much found the right guy.
And if you want to compare like him to the others that are potentially in the running, well, Corey Enright has never been a lead AFL coach. Mm-hmm. So Fraser already has a step above him. Maybe you can argue that Fraser has known this group, so was able to create that connection, hence why they're performing so well. And Enright would be able to do a total system overhaul and make sure everything's right if need be. But like James Kelly, never in that situation. Same as Jan Siracusa. Obviously Buckley has, but he's not really in the running. Like they're going for a first-time coach. That like as a first-time coach who's now had this experience, surely that only improves his argument as to why he should be the main man.
Yeah, these guys, I think everyone is under the impression they just can't overcook it. They can't overthink it, especially because their new way of life and the reason they've been so successful as a recent is because they haven't been overthinking. They haven't been trying to play for someone or for something. Yeah. It is purely just take what the game gives you, and the game has given them Josh Fraser. I like to think Collingwood fans, I know they like to bring up that every previous Collingwood person or previous Collingwood coach that's gone to coach Carlton has ruined things. I like to think he's just confirming the long term. He's giving them a lot of success now, so just in the future he can give them pain, but we won't know that until the next year comes around, which I believe will be when Josh Fraser is confirmed as their man. I think it is fair to say. But, I mean, we can look further into this game now as I think we're both on the same page in terms of the coaching hunt. This game was unbelievable. Carlton versus Brisbane. I had said some interesting things on the Friday night video, which you're going to be taking this week. Make sure you take that one because that video performed really well. But I had said that I only see it being a Fremantle and Brisbane race for this premiership. And Carlton went ahead and poo-pooed all over that.
What a way to phrase that.
Look, I definitely think I could have phrased that a lot better, but
did you get what
the point stands, like Carlton absolutely wrecked these guys. Brisbane did not look like the Brisbane side that we knew. I had mentioned many times in that video that they had mastered the marathon of the season, and now it just feels like they tripped over again.
Yeah, crazy.
I mean, you can maybe say it's a one-off, but man, Brisbane looked locked for top 4, and this game really changed things up. Yep. We were waiting for who was going to throw the first punch, and Carlton just landed an uppercut. Like, they have landed a big blow within that wildcard race.
They kicked 6 goals in every quarter.
Unbelievable. Like, it is so impressive to see how they've turned their club around. Like, I think about all the time that Carlton versus North game when North picked them off at the end. And I cannot believe that the scenario we are in now with 3 rounds to go is Carlton up in the box seat for the 10th wildcard spot. They're going to make finals. I cannot believe that we're sitting here talking about it like that. And it's just credit to their game plan. They just, I've always loved teams that can open up the game and allow as many goal kickers and score in so many different ways. Carlton did it in spades against a team with a notoriously really good backline. Like, unbelievable stuff. I really, anything I could say.
I'm pushing back on the really good backline thing. Brisbane have been.
They've had moments, but I thought they had been picking it up.
They've been at best a middle of the pack defensive team all season. They were bottom 4 5 weeks ago.
Yeah. I mean, that is a fair point. But if we're talking like maybe outside of just if our sample size is 5+, like very good backline. But again, in the moment, they haven't been good. Carlton took advantage.
This was Brisbane from 2 months ago.
Mm-hmm.
That was the issue. It's like they've relapsed back into that. And the goal for them is to make it just 1 week. And it's just, Carlton did everything right. They were so perfect. We couldn't even, there was no point even trying to match them. It just worked out that way. But I don't know, if I'm Brisbane and I'm a player there and I'm seeing so much go wrong, I feel like I want my coach to be doing more. And Fagan has an insane amount of trust in his players for them to be able to turn it around and knowing that their system is good enough. But at the same time, there's got to be something that you can do, something more for you to be able to stop the bleed. I feel like that's the most crucial thing for Fagan to get right. Because if something like this does happen in a final, and let's say they lose, let's say they finish 5th, right? They win the first final, and then they're in the semi-final weekend, and the opposing team just kicks 6 goals in a row. I want something to change. I don't want it to be the exact same thing because chances are it's not going to change. And I want him to be able to find something that will change so that you're not stuck in the exact same position that you've shown you've been in multiple times this season. So there's going to be something that he's got to do for them to be better rather than just keep with the flow of the game.
And that's always kind of been Fagan's calling card, being the kind of players coach in the sense that he doesn't want to overstep them. I think it comes from the fact that his background isn't as an AFL player. Of course, people have talked about the fact that Fagan's one of those rare coaches who never stepped foot in an AFL game.
Yeah.
So his coaching style is lauded for when they're playing well, but when they're not playing as well, you can see how it can get out of hand. And some players can respond. Brisbane often do respond, but I think it comes not in the game itself. It comes with the long haul. The long run. Hence why I still mention that they're the masters at the marathon. These guys are definitely going to regret losing this one by a lot because now they drop below Adelaide based off of percentage, which would not have happened if they got beaten by as much as they did. I can tell you Adelaide fans did not expect to be finishing 4th after what the fixture was looking like, but now they sit above on percentage. That's a wild turnaround. Brisbane, they're in 5th, and there is a world where they play Carlton in the first elimination final.
Wildcard round.
Would it be wildcard? No. If
potentially,
Carlton won the wildcard game, it'd be 5v.
Yeah.
Or if they play 7, would they be put into 7, or would it be based off of ladder position from there?
I have no idea.
Either way, there's a potential chance that Brisbane meet these guys in the finals, and that is not a good sign. No. But, of course, you look back at Geelong versus Brisbane last year in the first qualifying final. Geelong got the better of them in that first one, grand final day. They managed to turn it around and completely flip the script. So I still put my faith in Brisbane to get it right. I still do. There's, of course, it's worrying, but Brisbane, they know how to get on the good end of this stuff. The problem is they do play a very good-looking Hawthorn side this week, which we will talk about later on. Let's move to game number 2, though, and this was a really, really tough game to watch. Just as a neutral, even.
I didn't get to tune in, unfortunately.
I got to watch, and Gold Coast can really fire, but my God, do they not commit to the defensive side of the football?
That bad?
It's fairly obvious. Melbourne can really get out the back and make them work. They did lose Sam Collins early, which didn't help.
I didn't
they lost Sam Collins due to a knee from Ed Langdon, just a random one. I think he was flying up into the pack and just hit him in the sweet spot, which was unfortunate. But this was a game where Melbourne basically, if they could force a turnover, could push it out the back every time. It's really sad. It's honestly really sad as a neutral for Christian Petrarca, because especially after the game when he was going around giving all high fives and handshakes and hugs to all the Melbourne players, and you go, Jesus, you have found yourself in probably the worst scenario I could possibly imagine. Look,
Yeah.
I give a lot of credit again to Melbourne. They've won away from home, but this marks Gold Coast's 10th loss in a row. They have hit double digits in their losing streak.
That is ridiculous.
No one would have guessed that starting the year. I can guarantee you that. Unfortunately, it just feels like a Gold Coast curse at this rate. It just feels like the Gold Coast, not just for the Suns, but of course the whole city in general, they never seem to be able to get around the hump. And so there's going to be a lot of questions asked in this game in particular. It was very free-flowing. There was a lot happening.
Yeah, very
and like I
high-scoring.
said, it did get very sloppy at times.
Okay.
Hence why I think that managed to make the game very high-scoring. Like, because turnovers would happen, just opportunities arose more often than not. But lots of credit to Matthew Jefferson, I think, played a really solid game. I think I did catch more of the second half than I did the first half in particular, but Matthew Jefferson was firing on all cylinders. Harrison Petty looked really, really solid in the forward line more and more as he gets more used to being that forward line player that I know you absolutely love him to be.
Oh, absolutely, man.
Max Gawn just dominated. I think he's gonna get his ninth. He's gonna break the record this year. I don't think it's a contest anymore. Brodie Grundy, as much as I've loved how he can play, and his role is really, really good, I think Max Gawn, his impact on a side that was not expected to be a final side, is immeasurable. It really is. He leads by example, and it's come even more. It's been even more evident because of the fact that this side is so young.
Okay.
So a lot of credit to him. I think he's practically a lock at this rate. The voters aren't going to look past him. They're going to see how well he's played. They're going to see how good Melbourne have been. And they're just going to go, yeah, give it to him.
One man I did see who had a really good game in stat sheets and according to Champion Data, Joel Fitzgerald.
Yes. I think it was
very
his
good.
best game. Yes. Couple of goals, got around the football in terms of the on paper statistics. But yeah, when thinking back at it, he just got in and hungry for it. He did the hard work that some players we wish would work a bit harder did. I think Matt Rowell had a much better game this time around. He was one of those ones who was prone to a mistake here and there, though. But it was definitely one of his better games this year, which is honestly sad to say, considering we're talking about last year's Brownlow medalist.
Yep.
But yeah, Fitzgerald, and it's more a system of his environment, I reckon, that he is just so scrappy, so hardworking. You know, he's been given the opportunity as a mid-season draftee to come into this side. There's been a lot of good mid-season draftees this year, man. There's been a lot of them. But Fitzgerald fought so hard every time I saw him in there. And then I think their back line is just getting more and more solid as the year goes on. I've really come to like what Jake Bowie's doing. I always was worried about him because he just looks so undersized and so scared out there. He doesn't look like that anymore. He looks really comfortable in that back line. So I love how he's developed. The forward line, I can see the confidence out of Bailey Fritsch. Yep. Harvey Langford had a bit of a quiet game, but kicked a really important goal towards the end of it. Caleb Windsor's playing really, really effective. And they even got Christian Salem back, who was actually quite quiet, to be fair. A lot of those expected players you'd think would do really well actually did quite, I don't want to say poor, but were really quiet. Like Jack Steele, only the 16 possessions, considering he's been getting 20 plus for ages. He's had an off game in this one. So it's just really nice to see these guys getting effective players from different positions and from different places. It's just the story of two sides that I didn't expect. These guys have gone full Monstars and flipped each other's skills. Like, Melbourne are playing like Gold Coast should be playing.
Yes.
At least on paper.
Ridiculous.
I'm sure you'd be able to chat a lot about Dimmer and his positioning.
If I could, I would. I don't want to go too hard.
Yeah, you've got a minute. I'll give you 1 minute.
Nah, I've done it too much. I'm taking the high road this game.
Yeah, all right, fair enough. I don't like that from you. You can take the road on this one, though. How about this? Have you got much positive to say about this one?
Can I take the low road?
No, you're going to take the main road with this one. I'm obviously assuming that you watched this game. Were you at this game? Yeah, lovely. Tell me, as a Saints fan, was it what you expected?
Halfway through the third quarter, yeah.
Yeah, it very much felt like you guys
we were 23 points up.
Going to do the bogey team thing that you guys seem to be for Sydney. There's a lot of pain in those eyes that I see. So, is there any? I mean, outside of the injury carnage, because there was a lot of it on both sides. Poor Will Edwards, man.
Oh,
that was a tough injury to look at.
They took like years to get him on the stretcher.
And I think a lot of fans didn't understand what it was. It was a nasty...
Oh, yeah, he completely dislocated his ankle.
Nasty.
Like, it didn't need to take them 20 minutes to get him onto a stretcher, surely.
I think they were just trying to be really careful with him, honestly. And I can't blame him too much. But in an intense game, it definitely does take the air out of it. But obviously, we hope that not just Will Edwards, but all the players who went down in this one recover quickly.
Yes.
Because they're fighting a lot. Of course, because of the Carlton game as well. This game is even more devastating because now St Kilda have lost their advantage. We both said St Kilda would take the 10th wildcard spot, and they no longer have it. So, where do you see the improvements with this St Kilda side coming into the next game?
It was just so frustrating watching because we played so well for 3 and a bit quarters. Like, we had a 23-point lead with, like, less than 5 minutes left to go on the third. And then we allow them to kick one. And you're like, okay, not great, but you start with a 17-point lead heading into three-quarter time. You take that every day of the week against the second-best team of all season, right? 30 seconds left, stoppage at the end of in their forward 50. We give away a stupid high-contact free kick to Errol Goulden.
Yeah.
He kicks the goal and makes it a 2-point game. Sorry, a 2-goal game.
Yeah.
And you're just like... It's the most St Kilda thing to possibly have done. When the story of the last time we played Sydney was the red time goals. You give up another one. And then they start the third quarter and Heaney kicks the first goal. It's back to a 5-point game.
It was fourth quarter, right? Start of fourth quarter?
Yeah, sorry. And you're just like, oh, well, here it goes again. And then my goat, Max Hall, kicks a goal.
I was going to say the Max Hall one would have given you a lot more confidence.
We are so back. We've settled the nerves. And then it just so happens that in the same contest that Will Edwards does his ankle, Naz gets like an insane knock to the stomach or something.
Yeah, it was a chaotic little pack, that one.
And he couldn't do anything for the rest of the game. And then halfway through the third quarter, TDK gets a huge knock to the hammy and can barely run for the rest of the game. And for some reason, everyone on social media loves Rowan Marshall and genuinely thinks like he's a top 3 ruckman in the game.
It's because he's a fantasy guy. He's one of those guys who like you pick because he gets a lot of disposals. He's in the ruck, so he gets hit outs as well, and he can kick a goal. That's why people love him.
He genuinely makes my head boil.
Yeah, I've known because I pay attention a little to your discussion about the Saints. I know that Rowan Marshall gets on the nerves.
When we were firing and TDK was playing majority ruck, like at least 60% ruck, we had the 4th best centre clearance stats of all time, according to Champion Data. Then he went out and Rowan Marshall played, and we lost every game in the clearance battle. Every game. TDK gets injured in this. We started clearances 9-1.
Yeah.
From that stage, halfway through the first quarter, where Marshall took majority of the ruck till the end of the game, can you guess how bad the clearances were?
It went probably all to Sydney.
24-39.
Yeah. Because, I mean, Brodie Grundy being in that midfield as well, it's not just an easy ruck to kind of use your experience over. He's very effective with his possession too. And then the midfield that could get on top of any midfield.
We got absolutely dominated. And when you can't win the momentum battle and you can't win the field dominance battle, you're not going to be able to beat Sydney.
Yeah. And I really think people need to understand how important TDK is to this side because watching how well he did against North Melbourne when we went and watched St Kilda North Melbourne really opened my eyes to, wow, he's giving these guys first service every time.
Yep.
Every single time. And I think his athleticism and his youth, he just got a lot of energy to work compared to these older guys who, sure, are well conditioned, but you'd imagine TDK can get over the top of these guys as the game keeps going on. Losing that and going back to a guy who is very much still working out the new ruck rules and even before all the new ruck rules, was very, very reliant on being a kind of high possession ruckman.
Yeah, he's great around the ground.
Yeah, and that's why I loved the fact that he and TDK were working so well as a tandem.
But he cannot do it as a ruckman. That's the issue. He's a ruckman who's not a ruckman.
Yeah.
So it's just infuriating to watch.
Yeah, so a lot of frustration, I'd imagine, from Saints fans. And now you're going to be without Silvani for a little bit.
Yeah,
I think TDK will be out. I don't know
I
whether
have no idea.
I don't know whether they're going to manage that.
No,
I don't think I heard anything about Naz. I think he'll be
later
okay
tonight, but I think he should be okay.
Yeah. Considering he played out the game, unless there is late concussion symptoms that they'll try to hold out on. But of course, you guys are pretty much hoping that you can get as many bodies as you can for this week. This week is the most important week of the season for you guys by far, because it decides whether your season ends in 2 weeks or whether you get to live on for a little bit longer. So it's a tough loss, a very tough loss to lose in the last quarter. I mean, we probably should have given our flowers to Sydney, but of course, there's a lot of sadness going on in this podcast now for both of these sides.
Unfortunately.
Look, once both our teams are out of the finals,
Do we want to discuss your side?
no,
Okay. Well,
we can just go around the rest of the league. To be fair,
Well, you guys played relatively well against Hawthorn, to be
yeah,
fair.
we didn't do too bad. I expected fully to get absolutely pumped. That's usually how it goes with North versus Hawthorn down in Launceston, but no, we fully gave it to him.
There was no 13 this time.
Thank God. But Watson looked ready to go off. Very much the case when North missed their opportunities at the end of the game. It just makes up for the fact that kind of Hawthorn missed their opportunities to start the game. So it kind of played out evenly in that sense. I won't talk too much more about it. I'm just happy that we didn't get absolutely pumped realistically. We just got to try and find a way to beat the Doggies this week. Collingwood, though, versus Geelong. That was one game that didn't get covered because just surprisingly uncompetitive.
You covered it in the
That too as well.
If you do want to go check
97
it out, we'll link it in the description.
You're so much better than me at those little plugs and advertisements and stuff like that. I always forget it. Either way, Geelong managing to get over the top of those guys. Fremantle destroying the Dogs in the fourth quarter to end up taking that game over at Optus Stadium. Port losing at Adelaide Oval to GWS. Again, a classic GWS game where, look, they showed up today. Nice. That's really cool. Richmond deciding the battle of the bottom, basically. Essendon are probably going to be taking that final spot, with Richmond taking second last with their win over West Coast. A disappointing West Coast game, especially from Jake Waterman. I don't want to be too critical with West Coast.
He was seeing him like a watermelon.
Yes, an early days reference, that one. And then Adelaide doing their business against the Bombers, as they should, winning by 72 points and getting that percentage to put them in the top 4. Adelaide, they've climbed all the way back up, man.
I have.
I'm pretty sure I said at the start of the year they'd still be in that kind of top 4 hunt. And I'm very, very happy with my prediction with that one.
Still 3 games to go.
There is very much still a chance that it doesn't come around. Now, I have absolutely no idea what the next segment is. For some reason, when we were working out this episode, they just didn't want to tell me. So it's all yours. Tell me, what are we doing?
So I was watching the Carlton Brisbane game.
Yeah.
And obviously we had the Ty Gallop suspension. And so he wasn't able to be there. And Oscar Allen came back. So Brisbane decided to move Eric Hipwood into defence.
I did not know that.
Guess who he was matched up on?
Brody Kemp.
He was matched up on Brody Kemp.
Yeah.
Brody Kemp kicked a career equaling 5 goals. In class last night,
I'm really worried where this is going.
I said I could have done a better job on Brody Kemp than Eric Hipwood.
Do we have any clips? I need to search this up, man. I don't know. Oh, God. That is a worst of all time debate, is Behm getting greater than Eric Hipwood.
So I briefly wanted to mention some of the worst footballers in the league right now.
Okay.
My leading player is Anthony Caminiti.
That is very biased because you're a Saints fan.
I say him the most, though. Yes,
I get that. He has kicked a goal in each of his last 2 games, though, down forward.
He gave away more free kicks than he kicked goals.
A lot of players do that.
Eric Hipwood as a defender is number 1.
Yeah. But Eric Hipwood defending anyone.
I genuinely think I have a chance at doing a better job on Brody Kemp than what he did.
Oh man, these pictures are killing me. Look at the. You know this picture's up there, don't you? Oh God, stop changing the photos. This is getting tough to watch, man.
Shut up, Liam Grimer.
So, do you want to tell the audience what your dimensions are? Go on, tell the audience. Tell the audience how you have the.
I am the goal kicking champion of Northy's goal kicking challenge.
No.
2 years ago.
No.
That is my dimension.
Yeah, but
I am the Division 4 2019 under 15 champion.
Why am I up there? That has nothing to do with defense. Nothing to do with defense at all.
I am.
Plus, you were dribbling it from the quarter pocket, which you wouldn't be able to do in an AFL game very often because you don't have the speed to get past players like that.
I don't need the speed. It's Brodie Kemp. He doesn't have the speed either.
I can guarantee you he's faster than you.
That's not a compliment.
It wasn't meant to be a compliment. What are you talking
Person in a
about?
wheelchair is probably faster than me.
So I already disagree with that. I think you very much underestimate the... Where is that from? Oh, I do remember where that's from. That was a great
Behm
time.
Margera.
Yeah, that was a great time.
Crazy.
Either way, I have to disagree heavily. I very much have to disagree. But I do agree with the idea that Eric Hipwood as a defender is very, very funny because oftentimes he looks like he struggles to beat his defender when he's, especially this year, he struggled to win anything one-on-one mostly.
Yep. So if we want to talk about some other worst of all time players in the league currently, is there any name you have? Because I've got a couple saved in the bank.
Oh, I'm trying to think off the top of my head. Nick Haynes, I know, got it for a bit, but he's been all right as a recent, so I'm not going to give him any of the crap. Oh, my God, I'm blanking really, really hard. Bailey Scott.
How he still is on your list is ridiculous.
He was probably the biggest outlier. He hit the post from 5 metres out on the weekend as well.
That's crazy.
He could have just, Larky himself should have gone back and kicked a goal, but he for some reason passed it to Bailey Scott, and then he played on with someone right next to him. Why you wouldn't just go back and kick the goal from a set shot from 5 metres out is beyond me. But either way,
you guys are paying Finn O'Sullivan like $1 billion a year.
$1 billion a year,
and he missed a shot from right in front.
Yeah, well, he has the excuse that he's in his second year. Bailey Scott has played over 100 games.
Bailey Scott's probably in his first game in 3 years.
Yeah, well, it doesn't matter to me. He still plays football professionally, and he's played 100 AFL games.
Well, the other player I was talking about was Hugo Ralphsmith.
Oh, yeah.
Richmond fans want him delisted.
I mean, I guess
if you get delisted from Richmond,
evidently I haven't been paying enough attention to Richmond. But I liked Hugo when he was up and coming. He just played with a lot of fire. But I can see if he's still not progressed to the point.
I want to shout out Derek Egmalash Smith from a couple of years back on Richmond.
I'm trying to remember who that is. I mean, that goes to tell you kind of how his career panned out. But I cannot remember who that person is.
Ahmed Saad from St Kilda in the early mid 2010s.
That sounds familiar.
Had the longest run up, lived out of a garage, I'm pretty sure.
Oh my God. Wild story there. I'm trying to think who else. Old Richmond, semi-old Richmond player who played on after the siren once and the game drew.
Oh, yeah, Noah Cumberland.
That's it. Noah Cumberland.
Yeah, against Fremantle.
He always had little moments.
Yep.
He just kept popping up.
Yep.
But I remember Richmond fans notoriously didn't like him. There's other players like that. A lot of Richmond
players here.
There's a lot of... Yeah, that's because they're in a bit of a rough patch. And they're also coming off a dynasty. Yeah. So they're probably still thinking about the good old days.
Darcy Parish.
Darcy Parish also resembles the light after the whole Essendon scandal back though.
A little bit.
He's one of those gems they got, but yeah, he's definitely been on the poor end since.
Anyway, just wanted to have a fun little discussion about how Eric Hipwood should not be a defender.
Yeah, well, I mean that's a fair point. You being a better defender than him, though, I cannot get behind at all
you just
whatsoever.
Played wrong.
What?
You just played wrong.
I just played wrong.
Or just plain wrong.
Oh, speak more just speak with more confidence. Speak with more confidence, mate. I need you to tell me and give me a reason behind it. Otherwise, I'm not going to agree with you, mate. You can't just say I'm genuinely better.
But I am.
I'm different.
I'm built different.
We've got round 22 now. Maybe Behm gets the call up for round 22 against Eric Hipwood. I don't know. Are there any teams out there looking for any teams out looking for a physical presence? I don't know. like
St Kilda.
someone to take a bit of space on
Hey.
the field.
I'll call up St Kilda right now. We play Carlton this weekend. Silvani's injured. I'll come in and play on Brody Camp.
You're going to go after knees, aren't you? You're going to go after knees. Either way, we're going to take a look at a few games here this week. First one, of course, being Brisbane versus Hawthorn. It's 5v3. This is Brisbane's chance to get back against a good side, which they could potentially get some progress against. This will hopefully help them get to their top 4 aspirations if they do manage to win it. But Hawthorn have created a bit of space. This would be really, really good for Hawthorn to win because while they do have finals wrapped up, they're still trying to confirm their spot in the top 4. They are still 6 points ahead of 4th, but this is definitely one that they can't afford to drop. If they win this one, then I believe, or at least I would be confident to say that they are top 3 confirmed. So they dodge Freo and they play a potentially sketchy Sydney. I think that is best case scenario for Hawthorn. And actually, best case scenario is they play them at home. They play them at MCG instead of at the SCG if Sydney manage to drop one, which they are very capable of doing so. But this matchup in particular, I mean, if they put Eric Hipwood in the back line, then I see Hawthorn winning this one by 100. But
Surely not. Surely not.
But where do you see the change? Because Brisbane, we know they can make the change. We know when they play their type of game, they can beat any team. So
Yes.
where does this game go for you?
If Brisbane lose this, like, obviously due to percentage, they won't, but they could fall down into 8th if all the other teams win.
Well, Geelong play Essendon, so they'd go below them.
Yep.
Melbourne play Fremantle,
Oh, that's tough.
so they wouldn't go below them.
They're already below Adelaide. What about the Western Bulldogs?
The Doggies play North.
They could win by 200 points.
What, the Doggies? You flog. Either way, I think in this game in particular, they played without a lot of. They didn't have Logan Morris, did they? Or did they? No, they did have Logan Morris.
Yeah, he just got
they
shut
were just
down
that
by
quiet,
Harry Dean.
man.
Harry Dean's an exceptional defender already, which is just crazy to say.
Yeah, well, people are saying that it's going to be Jagger 1, Dean 2.
If Brisbane's midfield isn't able to do anything defensively like what they did against Carlton, because yes, Carlton's midfield is really good. Like you've got Walsh, Hewitt, Cripps, and Jagger Smith, obviously, who are 4 like elite talents, arguably, and they are in really good form, all of them. Like if Brisbane don't defend Hawthorn's midfield like they didn't defend Carlton, then yes, Hawthorn will probably win because I think Hawthorn's system is in better shape right now. But at the same time, I don't see them having 2 really poor weeks after what we saw from them a couple of months ago, where now they should know to turn things around quicker.
Well, it's going to be like, I'm assuming a primetime Friday night matchup with these guys because I know North and Dogs have the Thursday. Yeah. It's at the Gabba. It is at the Gabba. It hasn't been as much of a fortress this year as it has been in previous years. Hawthorn definitely could pick this one off. And I'm looking at the matchups in particular. Like, Eric Hipwood is such an outlier to me now, man, because if he's out there, they've got like 3 different players that could be the ones that that he takes and just completely ruins. So, like, oh man, I'm trying to imagine this side without Eric Hipwood. Okay, so obviously no Ty Gallop makes things really, really tough for him.
No Ryan Lester.
They don't have Ryan Lester either. What's the old Saint
injuries?
Old Saints.
Dara Joyce.
Yeah, they bring in Dara Joyce,
the Irish legend.
Yeah, bring him in.
Dara.
Bring him in. This Hawks. It's going to have to be Brisbane minimise the amount of turnover in the midfield because that's kind of how North got around it. They minimised their turnovers. I think North played fairly clean, but the minute that they turned that ball over, immediate hit-ups came up for Hawthorn. Of course, Gunston. Watson wasn't doing as much of the hit-ups. He was honestly just taking advantage of the fact that when North was sloppy, he was there. But Gunston, of course, does his thing. Chol can do his thing. He did pretty all right. Just anything. Did well everywhere outside of kicking in front of goal. And then they didn't have Cal Shadir, I don't believe. They tried Aiden Schubert, who didn't have a great game, but you give him a bit of an excuse. It's his first game.
Down in Tassie
as well isn't the best place to have your first game. But they've got more than enough players that make it work. Mitch Lewis I don't think he's playing.
Should be back this week.
That's good.
I
Okay,
think so.
if he's back, then I think he'll be, because he's been playing a lot better as of recent. So I think it could be a really, really big scoring game for Hawthorn, just based off the fact that Brisbane are down a few bodies and are relying on bodies they shouldn't be. So let's see how their midfield responds. Of course, we know that they can get it done. I am going to go ahead and say Hawthorn take this one. 35. Hawthorn by 35.
Ooh,
this one is a big-ish margin, but I think Hawthorn could put up a big score.
Okay, I'm not going to disagree with that, but I do think up there, Brisbane will be a bit more locked in, let's say. So I'm going Brizzy by 21.
Okay. Brizzy by 21. Interesting. Melbourne versus Fremantle. This one is a matchup that, God, I cannot believe it is still a finals matchup now, but two teams that have both impressed tremendously this year. We could continue to sing their praises all episode long, but with these guys, it really is hard to find a matchup that goes in Melbourne's favour because of how good all over the ground Fremantle seem to be. They keep finding answers. I guess for Melbourne, if they can get a really, really quick start going, because Fremantle do like to leave their dominance until late. Someone had mentioned in the comments of the Friday night recap that I did that Fremantle are really good at riding the storm and taking the opposition's best punches, and then from there, in the last quarter and in the second half, really putting on the pain. And I think it's a fair point. As much as I may see it as a bit of a worrying sight for Fremantle fans, you could also think of it as a tactic, just a plain tactic that they look to even out the balance of power as the game gets going, and then from there work out, all right, these are their flaws, this is where we can attack them, let's go from here. So hopefully a bit more high scoring. It was very, very defensive, like very strong defensively last week from the Dockers, but we know they can put up big numbers. They've got so much forward power.
No Daniel Turner really hurts Melbourne in this game because I think you need that defense. Like they've looked not open, but they've looked certainly less than what they were starting to develop into as a team defensively.
110 points from Geelong, 105 points from Gold Coast. So 2 100-plus point games.
Back to back in the two games he's missed. I do think they're going to miss him, especially against this Fremantle team. Obviously,
100%.
Seeing what they've got up forward. Like the Jackson and Gawn battle is going to be awesome to watch.
Oh, yeah. Oh, man. That's going to be so good.
That will just be an incredible game to watch, I think. I think, obviously, with the MCG, Melbourne are going to play a very expansive style of football. Fremantle don't normally tag someone, so like Cozzy Pickett in this game could very well get off the loose. But Melbourne don't really tag either. So like Shea Bolton, what he can do, he hasn't been in great form recently on a ground he's very comfortable with on the MCG, obviously.
We could get some very free-flowing football. I'm really excited. I reckon this could be the most entertaining game of the year. It has all the characteristics to be.
I reckon this will be an entertaining 40-point win, though. That's what I'm leaning towards. And I think Fremantle are pretty comfortable.
Fremantle do like to open it up towards the end at the very least. I could see a world where that happens again. I like to think that Melbourne puts up some big scores too, but I'm feeling the same way. They're gonna very, very much miss Daniel Turner.
Yeah,
it's tough for any team to stop this team forward, but I'm thinking Fremantle take this one. I'm going to give more faith to Melbourne. I think there's going to be a 23-point win to Fremantle, not as big as you may say. And then final game, the biggest one in terms of the wildcard race all year, a hot and firing Carlton side against a St Kilda side who looked good, but now find themselves on the back foot. Do they bounce back? Is a really big question because Carlton now seem to have a floor, like an improved floor from where they were, 3 months ago towards the start of the year with Michael Voss. But St Kilda can play some really, really exciting football.
Yep.
Maybe because just Naz likes to open the game up. They do like to rely on him a lot. But St Kilda are playing a really, really offensive style of football this year.
Yeah, I think a lot of this is going to rely on how bad we've got hit with the injuries. Naz got a hit, TDK got a hit, Silvani whether he's out or not, because he didn't actually pop the shoulder in that incident. He popped it before, put it back in, and then re-popped it.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm almost certain I saw him walk off with it out.
Yeah.
But I do remember him he was doing a bunch of this, and I'm worried that as he was doing that, he redid it. Yeah.
So it depends a lot on the injuries for me. It's the most Carlton thing ever for them to beat Brisbane by 78 and then lose to St Kilda by 21.
Yeah.
Like I'm just envisioning it, and that's like the most Carlton thing ever. But I do have faith in Carlton now.
Yeah. Well, this is going to be a surprisingly packed stadium, I reckon.
There'll be like 15K Saints and probably 40,000 Carlton fans.
Yeah, it'll be a big game.
It will.
Both.
Spud's
Honestly,
game as well.
Spud's game too.
Yep.
Honestly,
with
what
the AFLW.
a stage! What a stage for Spud's game.
Awesome.
It's a really, really good scenario.
Yep.
Even if you guys don't come away with a win, at least the result from it will be really, really nice in terms of the sentimental and the meaningful value that it does to the mental health awareness and all that sort of stuff. But I think Carlton just impressed me way too much, and I think they're playing a lot more of a consistent brand of football. While St Kilda may not be a poor performance from them, but I think we may see a bit of a, unfortunately, sloppier side, or maybe a bit more heavily reliant on their stars side than we did just last week, considering the potential injury front. So I think Carlton are going to take this one by 25. Are you backing them as a Saints fan?
I'm going Carlton by 13.
Oh, man. If it's a close, heartbreaking loss too.
I'm so done. If it is, I'm so done.
Could you
I'm just putting it
imagine
out there. I'd be so done.
after the siren?
Oh mate, don't even.
What would happen if it was a draw? It would feel like a Carlton win, wouldn't it?
I don't even know.
Those are real. Those are real interesting scenarios. Either
Don't
way,
say that. No, don't
we're
say
both
that.
going Carlton for this one. I'm surprised you've got no faith in your side, honestly. But let's have a quick skim around the rest of the league for the round 22. Of course, I mentioned a few times Dogs versus North on Thursday night.
I'm going the upset. I'm
God
going
damn it,
North.
I was going to go the upset. They impressed me. They did impress me in Tasmania, but like it is such a North thing to like show signs and then completely ruin all of that positivity the week
Going
after.
North by 16.
Oh, God. You know what? I'm going to do the same thing you did and have no faith in my team. I'm going the Dogs by, 40 probably.
I'm going Sydney to whack Port Adelaide. I'm going Geelong to whack Essendon. I'm going Adelaide to whack Richmond.
Yeah, for the Saturday games, Geelong and Adelaide I agree with. I think this Sydney-Port game, because this was close last time too, and Sydney have just lost a game at the SCG. Whether that motivates them to be extra defensive this time around, I'm going to go Sydney take this one by 5.
Okay.
I think it'll be another close one between these guys.
I don't. I'm assuming you also want Adelaide to win against Richmond.
Yeah. Like I said, Geelong, Adelaide, like same as you.
And then GWS versus Gold Coast.
Oh my God, maybe the strangest expansion cup the saddest expansion cup we've seen in a long time.
Can they do it? Can Gold Coast get their first win in 10 games?
Oh God. I don't know. This GWS, GWS came off a win, so I'm going to say Gold Coast take this one. Probably by like 80.
I'm going to go GWS.
Yeah,
and then
I can't blame you. They could go anywhere.
I genuinely have no
man.
idea. And then West Coast versus Collingwood. I think this is genuine upset potential.
It does have a little bit of a suspicious aspect.
If West
to it.
Coast kick more goals than behind, they win this
If
game.
Jake Waterman takes most of his kicks from 10 metres out, there's a chance. I think Collingwood's structure is going to be too good for a side that feels all over the place right now. I think Collingwood take this one by 30.
I'm going the Eagles by 1 point.
Oh, that would be great. That would be fantastic. Honestly, that would be really, really interesting. It would also open up Collingwood to somehow go down to 10th.
Potentially 11th.
Oh my God, if they missed it. If Carlton and St Kilda made it and Collingwood missed it.
Don't get me started.
The producer wouldn't show up for the week after. Either way, that is Zero Access Footy episode number 22. We're going to look through our tips very quickly. We haven't done this for a good while. This is currently what it's looking like. So, of course, as the season's getting close to the end, if you see your name up here, you have yourself a chance to win some cash. So just remember...
Straight out of Northy's pocket, by the way.
Exactly. You get to rob me. How good. So making it Rainer... He's feeling very good right now. You're about to rob Northy. You're about to rob Northy. Footy Pirate, Nosham, Jez, and Lockmate. You guys are all in the running for that. And there's probably some that are close by as well who aren't on this board here too. But keep your tipping up, keep all that going. I know I gave up, so you guys are going to beat me for sure. But that being said, be sure to leave a like, subscribe, all the good stuff on this channel. Follow us on all our socials too. If you're listening on Spotify, rate us 5 stars, and we'll see you all next week. Or no, for the Friday night recap with Mr. Premiership Quarter. Yeah. Thank you all very much. We'll see you all very soon. Catch you later.
Peace.